Interesting facts about historical figures. King Henry VIII, born June 28, 1491. Henry VIII had 6 wives in total. Henry VIII famously executed his wives, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, due to accusations of infidelity. A merciless king, Henry grew more paranoid and ill-tempered. Crowds of prisoners were sent to the Tower of London at his orders. In fact, it's estimated 57,000 to 72,000 people were executed during his 37-year reign. Henry was a talented composer of music. Henry VIII was a talented musician, proficient in keyboard, string, and wind instruments. His compositions, attributed to the King H.V., are praised in the Henry VIII manuscript, which contains 33 pieces. King Henry VIII died on January 28, 1547, with his last word: "I will first take a little sleep, and then, as I feel myself, I will advise upon the matter." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 2. Abraham Lincoln, born February 12, 1809. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the U.S. from 1861 to 1865. Lincoln, as a highly accomplished wrestler, was honored in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, having only defeated one opponent in around 300 matches as a young man. The brother of Lincoln's assassin saved the life of Lincoln's son. If you're unfamiliar, John Wilkes Booth was the one who assassinated Lincoln. Before that, Lincoln's oldest son Robert Todd Lincoln was accidentally pushed onto the tracks by passengers. Edwin Booth, brother of John Wilkes, pulled Robert to safety. Despite Lincoln having a successful law career, he did not receive a college or law degree. Abraham Lincoln died on April 15, 1865, with his last word: "She won't think anything about it," talking to his wife. Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 3. Isaac Newton, born January 4, 1643. Sir Isaac Newton is an English polymath, famously discovering the law of gravity. Isaac Newton has 2 birthdays. One in January 4th, according to the Gregorian calendar. In the 17th century, when Newton was born, they told the time using a different method, and this is the Julian calendar, indicating he was born on Christmas Day in 1642. His dog started the fire that destroyed 20 years of research, destroying important work. Newton took over a year to rewrite the lost work. An apple never actually fell on his head. Newton believed that Earth's gravitational pull keeps objects grounded, while Isaac believed it attracted objects to one another. This theory eventually led to the moon's orbit around Earth. Isaac Newton died on March 31, 1727, with his last word: "The great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 4. Plato, born between 428 to 427 BC. Plato was a philosopher and mathematician during the 5th century BC. Plato's real name may have been Aristocles after his father. Plato might have been a nickname that meant broad or wide. Plato served as a soldier during the Peloponnesian War between 409 and 404 BCE, and during the conflict, the Spartans defeated the Athenians, and democracy eventually returned, prompting Plato to contemplate a political career. Plato created his own school, the Academy in Athens, founded in 385 BCE, and one of the first Western institutions to provide higher learning, educated students in various subjects including philosophy, astronomy, math, biology, and political theory. Plato died on 348 BC with no recorded last word. Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 5. Galileo Galilei, born February 15, 1564. Galileo Galilei was an Italian astronomer, physicist and polymath. Galileo didn't invent the telescope, but perhaps he was the first to use it to study space. He also improved its design, discovering the moon craters and mountains, leading to his appointment as chief mathematician and philosopher. Galileo was sentenced to life in prison. The Catholic Church declared Galileo's Copernican theory a heretical in 1616. His 1632 published book supported the Copernican model, leading to his trial and sentence to life imprisonment. Galileo was a prolific inventor. Thermoscope and military compass is some of Galileo's important inventions we still use today. Galileo Galilei died on January 8, 1642 with his last word, "Eppur si muove," or, "But the earth does move." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 6. Genghis Khan. Born May 31, 1162. Genghis Khan was the conqueror and founder and first Khan of the Mongol Empire. There is no definitive record of what Genghis Khan looked like. No contemporary portraits or sculptures of him have survived, but most accounts describe him as tall and strong, with a flowing mane of hair, and a long bushy beard. Some of Genghis Khan's most trusted generals were once his enemies. He recognized talent and loyalty, even among those who had opposed him. This ability to turn former foes into allies contributed to his military success. He originally named Temujin, which means of iron or blacksmith. He didn't get the honorific name Genghis Khan until 1206 when he was proclaimed leader of the Mongols. Genghis Khan died on August 1227 with uncertain last word, "I have conquered for you a large empire, but my life was too short to take the whole world, that I leave to you." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 7. Michael Jackson. Born August 29, 1958. Michael Jackson is one of the most influential American singer and dancer, and famously known as the King of Pop. Michael Jackson was inspired by Fred Astaire and Charlie Chaplin. Some of Jackson's most famous moves were inspired by dancer Fred Astaire. He was also a big fan of comedy, and loved Charlie Chaplin. Chaplin also his biggest inspirations, he said. Michael Jackson could have died during 9/11. According to a biography written by his brother, Michael Jackson could have been one of the victims of the 9/11 attacks, but he was overslept that day, and missed his appointment which was scheduled to take place in the Twin Towers. Jackson owned the rights to Beatles songs. He acquired a catalog granting him publishing rights to 200 of the Beatles songs, costing him $47.5 million. Michael Jackson died on June 25, 2009 with his last word, "More milk." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 8. Christopher Columbus. Born year 1451. Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and navigator, who famously discovering and explore the New World. Columbus didn't set out to prove the Earth was round. Contrary to popular belief, Columbus didn't discover that the Earth is round. By his time, most educated people already knew the Earth was spherical. However, the exact size of the planet was still unknown. Christopher Columbus was convinced he had landed in Asia. Columbus's voyages were not meant to discover a new continent, but to find a westward route to the East Indies for spice trade. He mistakenly called the Caribbean natives he encountered Indians. Despite this, Columbus never acknowledged of encountering another continent entirely. Christopher Columbus died on May 20, 1506 with his last word from Latin, "Into your hands, Lord, I commend my spirit." Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 9. Neil Armstrong. Born August 5, 1930. Neil Armstrong was an American astronaut and aeronautical engineer, who became the first man to walk on the moon. Neil Armstrong had a military career before becoming an astronaut. Armstrong earned an aeronautical engineering degree from Purdue University. The U.S. Navy sponsored his tuition for naval officers, leading to his training as an aircraft navigator, and soon participated during the Korean War. Beyond his astronaut career, Armstrong had musical talents. Armstrong was a member of the Purdue All-American Marching Band in 1952, where he played the baritone horn. Armstrong could fly planes before getting his driver's license. Neil was fascinated by airplanes and space. Remarkably, he obtained his student pilot's license at the age of 16, even before learning to drive a car. Neil Armstrong died on August 25, 2012 with no specific last word. Interesting facts about historical figures. Part 10. Nikola Tesla. Born July 10, 1856. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian-American inventor, and he is known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current, or AC. Nikola Tesla was born during a lightning storm. Nikola Tesla was born around midnight during a fierce lightning storm, symbolizing his future work in electrical engineering and his experiments with light. Nikola Tesla hated pearls. Tesla was known to be an eccentric genius. He hated pearls for some reason. His hate was so strong that he refused to talk with women who wore pearls. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison are tough competitors. When Tesla pursued his own project, highlighting the current war between Edison's direct current and Tesla's alternating current, though they were competitors, they were not enemies. Nikola Tesla died on January 7, 1943 with no recorded last word.